In this rural land, the midnight barking of dogs signals the presence of wild boars, the silent destroyers of crops, and a looming threat to our way of life. Immediately, the hunting team gears up, heading out under the cover of darkness, armed with experience, weapons, and courage to confront the ferocious beasts. This hunt is not just a clash with wild animals, it's a mission to protect peace for the whole community. Follow them, and you'll see what true grit means deep inside the forest. As the first light breaks, Jay's team stands ready at the forest edge, prepared to enter a silent battle. Equipped with specialized weapons and modern gear, we push deep into the wilderness. Even the faintest trace is quickly detected and analyzed by these skilled hunters. When the moment strikes, gunfire shatters the calm. Every shot decisive, locking down targets instantly. A fitting tribute to those who silently guard the wild, preserving peace between man and nature. Deeper in, before I even react, the hunters catch the faint rustling and the distinct scent carried by the wind. The wild boars appear. Shots ring out in reflex, but most of the herd flees. The chase begins immediately. Soon, sharpshooters spot their targets again. A burst of precise fire ends the confrontation. One by one, the creatures fall into a heavy silence. This is not just a victory, it's a strong warning to the danger stalking this land. It seems Jay's team has uncovered a new path. They move silently through the dense trees, careful and resolute. Suddenly, they stop. No words, just a shared sense of tension. A shadow darts past like a gust of wind. Without hesitation, a bullet flies, powerful and true. In this wild forest, hesitation means death. Only vigilance and decisiveness separate hunter from hunted. The hunt grows tougher. With keen ears, the wild boars have learned to recognize gunshots. They huddle together, wary and moving as a pack. Nick signals to tighten the formation, closing the circle. Every step, every command is chillingly precise, as if he foresees the entire hunt. In a moment, the assault locks down the herd. No chance to escape. Yet, the trump card remains hidden. The hunters press on, driven by steadfast will and unyielding determination. Then, suddenly, the figure appears. Shots ring out, each target neutralized cleanly and swiftly. A battle formation forged by seasoned hands, every link perfectly synced, pushing danger far behind. As darkness falls, I thought the hunt was over. Time for rest. But the forest shadows had other plans. Nick's team strikes again, this time with perfect accuracy, ending all resistance. Land is finally safe. We breathe a sigh of relief, ready to rest before the next battle. I hadn't been home to visit my mother in a long time, and I was hoping to find a bit of peace that I had left behind. But on the second night, the barking of dogs echoed throughout the village. Crops were destroyed, and the pigsty was in ruins. Wild boar tracks were deep in the earth, then vanished along the hillside. Everyone said we were used to it, just closed the doors and waited out, but I couldn't ignore it. The next morning, I called a few friends, grabbed some hunting gear, and set out. Not just for the boar, but for this land, a place filled with memories, family, and peace that needed to be protected. It was only 6 a.m., but our team was already at the foot of the hill, quickly spreading out according to plan. After surveying the area, I realized the wild boars here travel in herds and rarely break away from the group. I picked a vantage point lower down the hill, where I could have the best control when they appeared. Before long, the target entered my sights, and the first shot rang out, clean and accurate. The wild boar herd reacted wildly, fleeing in chaos. But no matter how fast they moved, they couldn't escape the cost. A few boars were hit and rolled down the hillside, clear evidence of a fierce but successful confrontation. We continued with our pursuit plan. After a while of deadlock, we used the GPS to quickly pin down and divide the positions for the blockade. Everything was set. We just needed the prey to fall into our trap. Sure enough, the boar herd appeared. The lead boar was taken down immediately. All that was left was the sound of gunshots and the panic of the remaining boars scrambling to escape uphill. John's team had set up a blockade at the top. A few minutes later, the mission completion signal rang through, a perfectly coordinated operation that exceeded our expectations. However, it seemed the noise had made the boars below more cautious. They quickly moved to higher ground. Realizing the situation had changed, our team didn't hesitate and rushed forward, not giving the boar any chance to escape. The familiar scent led us. Just a few seconds later, the boar emerged. The gunshot was decisive, and it collapsed, tumbling down the hillside. Our next move was executed with the help of our four-legged teammates. In every wild boar hunt, the hunting dogs are the most reliable allies, sharp-sensed, brave, and skilled. They not only track the scent, but also cleverly drive the prey into the perfect ambush position. Before long, the dogs had led the boar into our sights perfectly. As the large shadow appeared, I squeezed the trigger. A clean shot rang out, and the wild boar dropped, ending the dramatic chase. After our success, we moved to the next side of the hill, where dense bushes provided the perfect hiding place for the wild boars. I focused, moving cautiously, not wanting to miss any signs. Then, the huge dark figures emerged. A shot echoed, and the lead boar collapsed with a perfect hit. Despite staying close and trying to squeeze the trigger, the remaining boar easily escaped, leaving a deep sense of regret. The hunt couldn't stop now. If they escaped, they'd return, and the destruction would continue. We were determined to track them down to the very end, carefully following the slope of the hill with each step. This time, there was no room for error. As the distance closed, I squeezed the trigger. The precise shots hit the boar, ending the long-standing threat. Thrills on the hillside, a dangerous chase with wild boars. In the past 3 months alone, over 2,000 acres of agricultural land in southern Turkey have been ravaged by wild boars. Gardens have been destroyed, crops wiped out, and the local people are in distress. Despite their efforts to fend off the threat, these cunning boars managed to retreat to the steep hillsides, where the rugged terrain made it nearly impossible to pursue them. Faced with this, we, the professional hunters, had no choice but to act, not only to protect the upcoming harvest, but also to restore the balance between humanity and the wild. Are you ready to follow us? The hunt begins now. At the foot of the hill, each member of our team was focused, reviewing the battle plan for the day. With determination and weapons in hand, we swiftly took our assigned positions. Amidst the vast hillside, dark figures began to emerge, silently slinking through the underbrush, heading back to their dens after a night of foraging. I quickly readied myself, taking careful aim. The sound of gunfire rang out. Each shot was almost perfectly precise, with several boars dropping on the spot. But the rest weren't so easily subdued. They fled with terrifying speed, reaching up to 40 kilometers per hour. Now I understood why the locals were nearly powerless against these monstrous creatures. I continued to scan the remaining areas with heightened focus, now using a modern pair of binoculars for better visibility. Before long, a large figure darted quickly through the bushes on the far side of the hillside. I immediately locked onto the target, steadying my breath. As soon as the line of sight cleared, my finger squeezed the trigger in rapid succession. The beast collapsed, rolling down the slope. As we moved closer to inspect, everyone was taken aback. The massive, muscle-bound creature lay there like a moving boulder, a gigantic wild boar that none of us expected to bring down so quickly. On the eastern side of the hillside, Thomas received a signal from his teammates. He immediately moved to the designated position, aiming to block the boar's escape route, which was not far from him. He blocked its path from the east, a close-range shot, decisive and precise. The beast froze and collapsed right in front of him. That was the end of its rampage. While long-range shooting helps in spotting the target, nothing compares to the accuracy required for close-range shots. And that's where Thomas executed the perfect control. Thanks to the high effectiveness of this method, we decided to use a drone to pinpoint the prey's location. In an instant, the target appeared clearly on the screen, like a vivid map guiding our way. Based on that, the team swiftly deployed, moving toward the ambush point with meticulous preparation and unwavering determination. When the target came into view, the team fired in unison. The prey dropped right in front of Nick's rifle. Cheers erupted, proof of the power of teamwork and technology. After the flawless execution earlier, we continued our hunt with laser-like focus. Suddenly, a strange sound broke the silence. I immediately raised my rifle, eyes scanning for any movement. Then, a massive wild boar burst out of the bushes. Without hesitation, I squeezed the trigger with unwavering resolve. The boar tried to flee, but each powerful shot of mine hit like an unstoppable arrow. When it finally collapsed, it was a moment that affirmed the skill, persistence, and expertise of the hunter. Meanwhile, Thomas relentlessly pursued the wild boar all the way to the foot of the hill. Beneath the thick canopy that obscured his view, he waited in silence, his patience unwavering until the prey finally appeared. A precise shot rang out, bringing an end to the intense chase and the boar's determined struggle. Exhausted in body, but in each of our hearts, there was pride and satisfaction after completing a day of hunting full of emotion, unity, and deep meaning. Today's hunting journey ends here. Did this trip excite you? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to catch more thrilling hunts ahead. Goodbye, and see you next time! Thousands of hectares of farmland in Bulgaria are being ravaged by wild boars, causing millions of dollars in damage. Crops are destroyed, livelihoods are shaken, and fear is spreading fast across the region. In the bone-chilling cold, Finn and his hunting team push deep into the frozen forest where every step forward could mean life or death. Will they manage to take the shot before the beast vanishes into the wilderness? Get ready for the most intense, heart-pounding moments of this wild boar hunt. Morning light pierces through the thick blanket of snow covering the forests of Bulgaria. Finn's hunting team moves in silence, every step carefully calculated. The air is tight with tension, every sense locked in. Suddenly, the hounds break the silence. The prey has been found. Finn wastes no time, moving swiftly toward the signal. Through the scope, the wild boar comes into full view. Calm and focused, he lines up the shot. Squeeze! The gun cracks through the cold air. The boar stumbles, takes a few shaky steps, then collapses into the snow. A flawless takedown thanks to perfect teamwork with the dogs. In a hunt like this, support isn't optional, it's everything. Wasting no time, the team pushes deeper into the forest. Every step is steady, nothing escapes their watchful eyes. Suddenly, a dark blur flashes across their line of sight. A single gunshot cracks the silence. Fast, clean, and deadly accurate. The boar drops on the spot. In that split second, Finn showcases unmatched precision, flawless instincts, perfect execution. As the last light of day fades and the temperature drops sharply, the hunting team quietly begins to pull back toward the rendezvous point, believing the chase is over. But then, Finn's sharp eyes catch a subtle movement in the distance. He crouches low, steady hands on the trigger. A single shot rings out. The boar drops silently. No thrashing, no sound, just stillness. Another sliver of peace restored to this land. Quiet but relentless. The snow had begun to melt after days of eerie stillness, revealing the cold, damp earth beneath. On the western hillside, Finn's team moved in silently, taking up their planned positions. 10 minutes passed. Finn remained razor-focused, eyes locked onto every twitch, every flicker of movement. Then, just beyond the trees, a dark figure slipped into view. Instinct took over. His finger squeezed the trigger with precision. The dry crack of the rifle shattered the silence. The boar collapsed instantly, never even knowing what hit it. It paid the price for the ruined crops and the chaos it brought to this land. His eyes locked onto a group of wild boars quietly concealed in the underbrush. With lightning-fast reflexes and zero hesitation, he adjusted his rifle, took aim, and squeezed the trigger. One boar dropped instantly, the rest scattered in a frenzy. Without missing a beat, Finn signaled his team a new wave of the hunt was already underway. Moments later, the hounds let out a sharp cry. The target had been spotted. James surged forward, eyes locked with unwavering focus. The critical moment arrived in a flash. One clean, decisive shot, dead on target. Almost simultaneously, signals lit up from other positions. One after another, shots rang out, silencing the danger for good. The battle ended as quickly as it began, restoring peace to the land. For now, the people could rest easy, at least this time. This hunt has come to an end. The destroyers of the harvest have finally been stopped. Victory didn't belong to the brave marksmen alone, but was the result of seamless coordination between local farmers, authorities, and the unshakable brotherhood within our team. Once again, the hunters spoke up at the right moment, and this time, they came out on top. We sincerely thank the local community and authorities for their unwavering support, trust, and partnership throughout this journey.
Winter is here, with snow blanketing every corner. But the greatest threat we face is the wild boar. Fields are mercilessly destroyed, leaving behind a scene of devastation. In some areas, up to 70% of the crops have been lost, leaving the locals almost hopeless. We cannot stand by and watch our year's labor destroyed. We are ready to face this danger head-on. This hunt is not just about protecting the land, it's the last hope to save the livelihoods and survival of the community. The hunting vehicle rolls down familiar roads, bringing us straight to the hunting grounds. Despite the biting cold, nothing can stop our team as we rush to the designated spot. After a brief wait, the target appears. The moment the opportunity arises, the gunshot rings out and the boar falls. But the wild boar herd doesn't stop. They charge off with terrifying speed. Not letting them escape, I signal to my team. The sound of gunfire rings out in response, blending with the roar of victory. The opening battle is dramatic, giving us the strength to push forward in this challenging hunt. The morning sun begins to filter through the trees, and we continue our search for new targets. Wild boars tend to come out to bask in the sun at this time, and sure enough, the target appears. Quickly adjusting the scope, I squeeze the trigger. Each shot stays true to its mark. No mistakes. The boar falls, successfully brought down. A victory that saves this place from the relentless destruction of the wild boars. Seeing the boars begin to flood out into the sunlit patches, we quickly set up a blockade. The wild boars continue to emerge, seemingly unaware of the danger lurking nearby. Seizing the perfect opportunity, the shots ring out decisively. The strategy unfolds perfectly, and the spoils exceed our expectations. Accuracy and determination bring a great result. After the thunderous explosions of gunshots, the area falls eerily silent. But the danger is far from over. The boars are hiding deep within the thick trees. Without hesitation, we push forward, carefully scanning every hidden corner, not missing a single movement. There! They are here! I steady my rifle and pull the trigger. The bullets hit their mark one by one, without a single boar escaping. Silence returns, but this time it's the silence of victory. Focused on the boar in front of me, I almost missed the dark shapes lurking on the periphery. I immediately signal to John to intercept. Receiving the signal, he gets into position. As the target emerges, his movements are swift and precise. The boar is stopped in its tracks. Our perfect teamwork ensures we maintain control, second by second, under immense pressure. Before long, other targets meet the same fate. Swift and silent. No unnecessary sounds. We continue our sweep of the area. More wild boars emerge, flooding the place in larger numbers, both in packs and as individuals. The hunt becomes urgent, taut as a bowstring. Without hesitation, we split up and tighten the perimeter, setting a new trap. The tracks left in the snow lead the way. The distance between us and the prey shrinks. Then, a series of gunshots pierce the silence, cold and decisive, shattering the stillness of the deep forest. The pursuit ends, and once again, this place bears the mark of our absolute control. True hunters at work. Central Florida backcountry, where the thick palm forests and muddy wetlands create the perfect battleground for wild hogs to run rampant. These beasts multiply fast, invading gardens, wrecking irrigation systems, and leaving heavy damage in their wake. Faced with the threat of losing entire crops, landowners turn to us, hoping to reclaim their land from this invasion. A challenging hunt lies ahead. Join us as we embark on this heart-pounding pursuit. Before dawn fully breaks, our truck quietly rolls toward the forest where the wild hogs usually begin their destruction. With seasoned experience, we know their habits and active hours inside out. Every detail is meticulously planned, each step, each breath, carefully measured as we move into ambush positions. Minutes later, the target reveals itself. Steady on the bead, I squeeze the trigger. Quick, clean, decisive. The beast drops instantly. That opening shot, dead on, fuels our resolve to restore peace to this land. We press silently deeper into the forest, tracking fresh hog prints in the damp earth. Not a sound escapes as the team locks onto the trail, eyes sharp, scanning every palm thicket and shadowed nook. "There it is," I whisper. Like muscle memory, I raise my rifle, line up the shot. The gun cracks, a clean hit, and the hog falls on the spot. Elsewhere, Kevin skillfully sets bait to lure the herd into view, choosing an ambush point with clear sightlines. As the hogs gorge, he quietly takes aim at the biggest one. A shot rings out, the target drops, and chaos erupts among the rest. Seeing Kevin's tactic work so well, we quickly expand our trap network and split up to cover key spots. This section is ours to protect. Once again, hogs fall into our traps, and with swift, decisive shots, we neutralize more threats, helping preserve this land from destruction. Meanwhile, at a frequent hog crossing, Kevin's crew stands ready. The moment targets appear, a precise shot drops one. The rest panic and bolt, but every escape route is blocked. Ready rifles cut off their getaway, ending their desperate flight. Following tracks, Kevin freezes, spotting a large gathering of hogs. Without hesitation, he fires, taking down one beast. Quick on the reload, he tries to press the attack, but the herd outsmarts us, slipping deep into the woods. Determining the direction, Kevin signals us to move deeper into the dense jungle where the hogs vanished. The tangled terrain and thick brush make tracking nearly impossible, if not for our hunting dogs. Guided by the dog's barks, suddenly, a giant hog bursts out. Instinct kicks in. Finger tightens on the trigger. The beast drops cold. Pushing through dense palms, we hunt down the survivors hiding nearby. More sharp shots ring out, each one a message. This land is no longer safe ground for wild hogs.